Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader. It's Thursday. It's time to look at recent sales for the vintage collection from Hasbro. Lots of TVC 1.0. And I also do have a Jar Jar Binks in Carbonite, which was from that large box set with the Lost Wave, I believe. And we also have some graded items, some graded proof cards, and some graded older as well as newer releases that sold. So I wanted to go through all those. Thanks as always for supporting the channel. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. All right, so this seller still has a bunch available, by the way. I don't know who it is, but they don't focus on the vintage collection or Star Wars in general. They did kind of one of those sellers like Gold Star Tech that sells a bunch of other stuff. So they have make an offer options available, but they do have a lot of vintage collection as well as other modern Star Wars items. And sometimes, given that sellers that don't focus on Star Wars, they're often willing to make a deal. So just keep that in mind. You can go check them out. HLS Sales and Auctions. I've never bought from them. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I just wanted to at least alert people that this seller has some nice TVC still available. First, in terms of his sales, recent sales, we had the US card VC20 Yoda with the prototype FET offer, unpunched, beautiful example. It was listed for $80, which is actually a pretty good deal. Best offer accepted on that one was $65. So $65 for the VC20 Yoda. Same seller also had Darth Sidious on an unpunched US card, and this one was listed for $120 and sold in a make an offer situation for $105 on that one. Ben Quadraneros and Otaga 222, another unpunched US card. That one was listed for $75 and it sold for $65. It says it sold at $75 in this listing, but I did look it up and it did sell for $65, so $10 off on that one. Pretty good price there. Ponda Baba, another one that's been pretty popular lately as people fill out their HasLab Cantina. This one had the prototype FET offer US card, again unpunched, listed for $120. The best offer accepted on that one was $100. So pretty decent prices, not steals by any means, but you can always make an offer for their current listings to see how flexible that seller is willing to be on it. Power Droid is coming up. I forgot I had this one, which this, correct me if I'm wrong, do you guys remember a punched example Revenge of the Jedi retail release with the prototype FET? Do you guys remember a recent sale this low? This was in an auction for Princess Leia VC64 Slave Leia. It was a punched example in all fairness, but still that price is pretty low given that this one seemed to be in pretty good condition overall. And it sold in an auction again for $122.50 free shipping. That's a really low price. And just shows you that if you're patient, you can find these auctions. And if you're willing to live with punch versus unpunched, I know a lot of you have to have unpunched, but I did at least want to show that one because that's, to my memory anyway, that seems to be the lowest price I remember for a VC64 Slave Leia. Here's the Power Droid sales. He had a bunch of sales this past week, and I thought that they were pretty interesting. It seems like they're all case fresh, and I don't mean to pick on Power Droid, but there just hasn't been that many recent sales on eBay for the vintage collection that were particularly interesting. And he always seems to have the really nice ones. So we had a foil example of VC13 Anakin Skywalker, the foil chase card, $130 on that one. The foil clone commander Cody sold for $150. Again, a very clean example with the VCPO3 rocket firing FET offer. And he had the offerless Revenge of the Jedi R2-D2. I believe I had this one in a what to buy video. I thought that was a pretty good deal. This is obviously from the SDCC box set. $60 on that one plus shipping. And then he had a Grand Moff Tarkin. That one's come back down to earth, as we've talked about in past videos. For a while there, it was like $175-ish. And he did a close-up of the blister. I don't know if there was an issue with it or not. I don't see anything wrong with it at first blush. But for some reason, he had a kind of a close-up of the blister on that one. So maybe there was like a ding or something in the blister. But that one was an unpunched VC98 for $130. And the Shock Trooper, again, another one I think I had in my what to buy video. That one sold for $110. I found one other sale recently for a Shock Trooper that was punched that sold at $100. So $110 for an unpunched US card for the Shot Trooper. Great deal there. Very clean, case fresh example. This I thought was a good deal too. I mean, not the greatest deal. They certainly have sold for less lately, but, for a really clean example of VC-115 Darth Vader Emperor's Wrath, we've seen higher and we have seen a few lower, but, 150 to me seems like a really fair price for a case fresh example of VC-115. Before we dig into the graded items, I did also want to point this one out that sold for a big number. Jar Jar Binks in Carbonite. Beautiful example. Very, very clean. I saw absolutely no issues with it whatsoever. And it was listed and sold for $800. It was a make an offer situation, but according to 130point.com, it did sell for $800 plus $7 shipping. So big data point there for those of you still looking for Jar Jar Binks in Carbonite. On to some graded examples that sold mainly at auction. There were a number of proof cards that sold. This is the SDCC giveaway from 2010. This is the Darth Vader proof card, unpunched, AFA 9.0. That one sold for $51. What a great deal. Free shipping as well. Wow. Really good deal there. Luke Skywalker Indoor Capture was an AFA 9.0 Revenge of the Jedi proof card. That one sold for $49.89. I mean, you really couldn't get these graded for these prices. Free shipping as well. So these were just dumped on the market. This was the foil Clone Commander Cody Celebration 5 giveaway, AFA 9.0 for $50. Man, just unbelievable prices. An AFA 9.0, same Celebration 5 giveaway for the foil Anakin Skywalker logo, Revenge of the Jedi logo. That one sold for $61 on 4 bids. And then remember back in the day after Cara Dune was kind of let go by Disney and Hasbro stopped the manufacturing of Cara Dune right during the height of The Mandalorian's popularity, we saw an uncirculated 8.5 sell for over $300 in an auction. $300. And this was an uncirculated 8.5 that sold in an auction for $51. Absolutely insane how much that one has dropped. So your guess is as good as mine as to why it's dropped so much, but it's just a telltale sign that you don't want to buy during massive FOMO. $51 free shipping on that one. Next up was the Imperial Assault Tank Commander. That's always very desirable, even in the slightly lower uncirculated 8.5 grade. That one still sold for $91.09. Ungraded, they can go for this price or very close to it. So that was a really good deal there for the uncirculated 8.5. And it's interesting because it was an uncirculated, so that means they sent in a sealed Hasbro shipper case. And if you look around the hang tab on this one, it has obvious wear around it. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know why. It just from the factory, it had, maybe it's reflections. I don't know. It could just be reflections. But to the untrained eye, it looks like it had wear all around the hang tab, which you wouldn't think would happen given that it was an uncirculated designated item. So it was a sealed Hasbro shipper case. So you just never know what you're going to get. But $91.09 free shipping on that one. I had 2 different sales for the HasLab exclusive from the Katana sail barge, the Yak Face Power of the Force style card back. This was an AFA 9.0 gold level that sold for $255. And then this one sold in a buy it now situation. It was an 8.5. So even though it was a lower grade, one of them was a buy it now, one of them was the auction. And so even the slightly lower grade went for $264 plus $11.20 shipping versus this one that was $255 free shipping in the slightly higher grade. So I just wanted to point that one out. And then finally, Jedi Knight Revan. I have not seen one of these graded before. If I have, my stupid memory has already forgotten about it. But this was the fan channel 2-pack exclusive Jedi Knight Revan, and it was an uncirculated 9.0. And that one sold for $125. I think we saw the regular Darth Revan sell for big money as well, and it was much more than this. I want to say it was in the 200s, but don't quote me on that. But this one was the Jedi Knight version. Really like that example. Galaxy of Heroes version. So it's kind of like the alternate universe. It's kind of like the expanded universe cards from back in the old days. But $125 plus $10.99 shipping on that one. So just some really interesting sales there. And I do want to say thank you. I forgot to mention this, and I'll mention it again tomorrow in my What to Buy video to make sure that he sees this. But Cameron Smith recently upgraded his Patreon membership. So I apologize that I forgot to say that at the beginning of the video where I usually like to do this. But Cameron Smith recently upgraded his Patreon membership to AFG Superfan. So thank you, Cameron. And I'll give you another shout out tomorrow in my What to Buy video to make sure that you see it, since this was at the end of the video. So anyway, that's all I really had for recent sales this week over at the Vintage Collection. I hope you enjoyed this look. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll be back soon.